And because I can always just delete or whatever. So to your question, Kurt, the question pertaining to about how to maybe close up the first presentation and then progress to the second conversation or the second presentation or the second exposure. I want to connect story to story, because when I connect my story to their story, I'm going to find naturally one or two pains that they have. Like if I was talking to you and I found, you're 20 years working for that company, and if I made a comment about, do you feel like the path that you're on working for the company you're on, even though it's provided you a good lifestyle, and I literally would ask you this question if I had just gotten to know you or we're neighbors or friends. Kurt, working a lifetime and being able to be an engineer there and provide a good lifestyle for your family, do you see your current job being able to fulfill all the dreams that you ever wanted to accomplish in life?
No. It's got me this far. I'm surviving, but I'm going to be here till I'm 110.
And that's typically a response. I mean, if I was to ask some form of a question like that, the response is going to be almost kind of like a joke, like, no, I see myself doing this for a long time, and no, I'm not ever going to have the house that I wanted, or live over here, or do that, or you're going to get some of that feedback. And when I get that feedback, I'm filing that information, right? That's the information that I will utilize at the very end. So my close just started already. Well, listen, Kurt, I'm going to share with you some information that may find value for you to help you maybe stretch yourself, maybe accomplish some of the things that you've always wanted that maybe you gave up on and you closed up a while ago. And the reason why I share that with you, Kurt, because I can relate to what you just said. I worked in my profession was in law enforcement, and I always thought that was going to be my end. But I realized now that as I started to open up my mind to the possibilities, that it's just the means to the end. So I'm going to share with you some information that caught my interest. And by sharing that information with you, you might feel the same way I feel. And what I found was this is now the ability for me to have more and to become more and to get what I want. So I'm really excited about it. But it started with an ABC News clip that opened up my mind that the possibility is there that I could actually achieve more. So I want to start with that. Okay, do you see how I just started that conversation? The conversation of me starting the presentation started with understanding Kurt's circumstances, understanding his working at Lifetime, and then me validating my story to his story, and then I'm going to go into the presentation. So my hope is that as Kurt starts to get the information, he's getting the information with the thought in the back of his mind that what if? That's what I want to be there, the what if. Okay, so now we went over the information, and I say, Kurt, based upon the information you've heard here, what attracts you the most? What are some of the feelings that you have that are really exciting you the most right now? And I'm going to open that up. I'm going to find out, is it more product driven? Is it more business driven? And find out where he sits. And Kurt says something like, I don't know, throw something out at me, Kurt.
Oh man, the retirement possibilities sound great. I need help there.
Excellent. So, Kurt, I agree with you. I think that unfortunately, a lot of the ability to get retirement is just not available to the working class today like it used to be. And that's the reason why we looked at the potential of, could this be a retirement option? I 100% agree with you. So if this could work out for you, could you see yourself utilizing this as a retirement option? Or would you like to see this potentially fit for you as a retirement option?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if that is the case, Kurt, what would be some information you would need to have for you to look at this as a real, true financial vehicle to help you set up a retirement? What are some questions or concerns that you would have to have addressed for us to move forward?
Right. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not a salesperson. How can I do this?
Okay, great question. A lot of times, I know how you feel because I felt the same way. I felt like I had to be really polished and good at sales. But what I found was it's not about the sales. It's the ability to actually communicate information and get information out to people. And what I found one of the most biggest values is connecting that. All I have to do is connect that. And so to help with that, Kurt, we actually have a process, a system that we go through to help you feel like this is the right fit for you. Because what I don't want you to feel like is that I am a salesperson and I'm closing you. And if I was going to try to close you, I would be asking for your credit card right now, and I'm not doing that. But what I am interested in is helping you create enough value for yourself that you can see that this is not about selling, it's about connecting. And so I want you to be able to come through this. I want you to join me on this discovery mission together, and you finding out for yourself if this is the right fit. And to do that, we actually have some presentations and things that we do that help you validate this for yourself. And the next thing that we have coming up is we actually have in 2 days what we have called a validation Zoom or a validation meeting, which is where we kind of review the points of what we talked about, but you're going to hear from other people on how they built their business. And that might be a great way for you to find out if that's a good fit. So with that being said, Kurt, have we caught enough of your interest that you would like to progress and find out for yourself if this is going to be a good fit and a good retirement option for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Wednesday night at 7 o'clock is when we have that. Can I count on you to join me on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock to be a part of that validation and opportunity Zoom? Or I mean, it could be a house meeting. I don't know. I'm just throwing out examples. But
Right.
let's say it's a house meeting. We have a house meeting where we're actually going to be going over that and validating the opportunity. Are you available Wednesday night at 7 o'clock?
Yes.
Well, why don't we do this then? Between now and Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I want to give you some things that I have found that had value on recognizing how this business works. And so I'm going to send you a link that'll have a short little video presentation. It's an opportunity video. It's only 12 minutes long, and it'll explain the opportunity. It'll explain how we build the business. It'll explain why we build the business. And then Wednesday night, let's do a follow-up, and Wednesday night, let's plan on going to that meeting together. Does that sound fair?
Sounds great.
Okay, so now pause that whole little role play deal. How did you feel about that process? Just be honest. How did you feel about
Felt great. I wish I could say it like that. I need to incorporate more of that in there. I like the course that Phil found. I'm doing a little bit more of that. Reading people. That's something Sean's been working with me to try and read people and what they need. That kind of thing. Sometimes I just get stuck on the 6 points and the PowerPoint and the order that they're in. So that's where I'm working now. But I like how personal that was. Did
you feel like it was intrusive, or did you feel like I was trying to force another touch out of you?
No.
Okay, so now just my read, and obviously we're role playing and you're just throwing out quick one-liner statements. My read would be I'd follow up when you say retirement. I would probably have followed up a little bit more in detail and ask a little bit more questions to your follow-up, to your retirement statement. I say, well, why do you feel that way? Do you feel like your retirement's out of reach with Lifetime? I probably would have asked a couple of more questions relative to that, but just for the training purposes, I just evolved the conversation. But with your posturing statement that you made on retirement, your statement came across so strong that I would have been thinking about, do you have a belief that you can do this? And if I would have got a read that you would have kind of felt that way, I would have closed you up on that spot. So, but I would have asked a little bit more inquisitive questions before I would have asked for the close. Does that make sense? Maybe a little bit? No?
That's a little confusing. So give me some examples.
Okay, so when you made a statement that, how do you feel about where you see yourself in this? What do you feel that you like most about this? And you were talking about, well, I could see this as a retirement.
Yeah. Okay.
That one-line statement on a retirement, I would have followed up with that question. On when you say retirement, Kurt, what do you mean by that? And I would have asked something relative to retirement. That's cool, Brian. Appreciate you jumping on.
See you, Chewy.
So I would have followed up on the retirement statement on, tell me more about why you feel that way about retirement. Like you feel like it's not achievable, and why is that important to you? When do you want to retire? I would have followed up on those things. And when you would have said, well, let's just role play off that.
Okay.
On retirement. And so my thought on that is, well, Kurt, if you wouldn't mind, could you give me a little bit more feedback on that? When you say maybe this is an option for retirement, do you feel like is your retirement changed, or do you not have a retirement with where you're at?
I have a retirement. I've been saving for 20 years, and I've got enough for about 4 years worth of retirement. It's just not growing very fast. It started out all right. After the big economic downturn, it just has hardly grown at all. And that really concerns me. I keep pushing retirement dates out, and I don't want to do that. I want to retire someday.
So do you feel like when you first started working, you kind of had in your mind when you wanted to retire, and now that you've been in the workforce and you've been working for the same company, that goal has changed? Now you find yourself pushing it out further?
Yeah. So when I first started working, I just figured, everybody retires at 65, right? So I put money away from the beginning, and I thought that was the rules. The rules have changed.
Do you feel like that you're in a position you could retire at 65, or are you concerned that that's not even going to be possible anymore?
I'm concerned that's not even going to be possible anymore.
Do you see that being a major problem or concern for other people, not just yourself?
Oh yeah, like everybody I work with.
Do they make comments about that all the time?
Yes, all the time.
So if I told you the recent study by the Social Security Administration saying that if you were born by 1977 or later, that you're not even eligible for Social Security till 72, could you relate to that by your experience?
I was born in 74, so I must be good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You can actually retire before 72 if you financially can. But here's the other problem. Pensions are a thing of the past. Companies are now having people put money into 401ks and into the stock markets and different options like that.
Right.
So the problem with that is we can see what happens like 2008, 2009. And you've probably experienced that at work. People that have lost half of their retirement.
Right.
Well, Kurt, the reason why I say those statements is because you're 100% spot on. And what's interesting about that is that's probably one of the more relative conversations I have with people, more even above and beyond what this company has to, talking about the product use of our company. It's even more of the conversation on business. I mean, recognizing that people don't have retirements. It's a big, big problem for most people. And that's the reason why your story matters. It's also the reason why other people can relate to what you're talking about. And when we're building this business, what we have found is those types of conversations are the why people are succeeding. You can succeed at building a successful business in this because that conversation is a real conversation to have. Think about this, Kurt, real quick.
Uh-huh.
You went into work and you had a confident, clear understanding that you could build a retirement in the next 2 to 5 years versus working and trying to put your money into that other retirement program. If you had a very confident that you had a system that was teaching you how to build this business correctly, and by building this business part-time for 2 to 5 years, you could have a clear retirement. Do you think that would be a conversation your coworkers would like to hear about?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the reason why people are succeeding in this business. And that's the reason why this business is growing so quickly. It's the reason why you make that statement and why it's so relative. That's why you'll be successful.
Okay.
Okay, so now what did I I'm about to pause the role play model for just a second. Now, where do you think I'm going with this? What am I doing?
Setting up my next appointment.
Well, I'm building your belief around what two things?
Around the business, the opportunity.
And you can make money.
Make money. Okay.
Okay, so now here's my follow-up question. So when I told you I was preparing, I may close you based upon your statement to me. I may try to close you on the first touch. I might not try to wait to try to get you in front of other people. If our conversation is going so well that we're connecting with each other, I might actually close you up right on the spot.
Okay. Sorry, my battery's getting low. Let me plug this in. Okay, I'm good.
All right. Okay, so this is my point that I'm making. I might throw out the invite to close you if my next question makes sense to you and we're really on track. And so now I'm going to go back into the role play. Kurt, I 100% agree with you. What I have found is there's a lot of people that you work with right now that are concerned about their retirement just like you are. And it's the reason why you'll have a lot of success in this business. It's the reason why other people that have never done this business, you talked about you're not a salesperson. I'm not either, but I'm very passionate on the subject matter that we're talking about right now. And I have found a lot of people that are interested in creating part-time income and having more options and choices for retirement than just continue doing what they're doing right now. That's the reason why I believe this can work for you. Now, let me ask you this one question. Kurt, if I could show you a system that could teach you exactly how to create the income, would you be coachable and teachable to that system?
Yes, of course.
What we do next is we identify a package that fits you the best so that you can come in and get the products going immediately. But secondly, we can get you integrated into that system very quickly. And we can teach you how to invite people to learn about how to find options for retirement. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So as we were talking about some of the package options, which package catches your attention the most? Okay, now pause right there before you answer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break down what I just asked. Now I want you to give me your response. How did you feel about those lines of questions? Were you ready for those?
Yeah, I didn't feel like they were intrusive or anything. No, I thought they were great.
Okay, do you see those lines of question that led to where I was going? Where was I going that was different in this example versus the first example?
Right, you were closing on that one.
I was going for the close, wasn't I?
Right.
So that line of questioning was built upon your response. Your posturing response gave me the confidence that I think Kurt might have check mark number 2 in line. Now I'm prepared to invite you to join me in business on the very first touch.
Wow. Okay.
When you say wow, what do you mean by that?
No, what I'm saying, I guess we have this recorded, right? I need to go through and listen to it about 10 times.
Yeah, this one's being recorded.
Good. I want to be able to talk to people like that. All right. I think everything just flows nicely.
Okay, this is the simplicity part then. Okay, so I want to keep it very simple. When I say that I think about these two things, they're always on my mind. That's the reason why, is because I have to calculate. I'm always one step ahead of everybody else. I'm always ahead. And you need to always be ahead when you're doing your presentation. Okay, so with that being said, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, number one, do you believe that this product and opportunity is real? Okay, typically that question mark will be answered very quickly. When we watch the ABC Primetime, we talk about antioxidants and oxidative stress. It's easy for me to get a read on somebody believing the product is real. So check mark 1 is out of the way. Now check mark number 2 is, do I have a belief that Kurt has a belief that he can make money in network marketing? I don't have that yet, but that's what's in my mind. I'm not going to ask you to join me in business if I don't feel like you're ready for that. And I'm waiting for some type of a read, body posture, statement, whatever, that gives me the confidence. Now, here's a confident statement. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. I want to do this. Okay, if somebody is making those types of statements, that's a posturing statement. I'm reading that.
Right, yeah.
If you're saying something like, oh man, I want to do this, my wife's got to hear this information, that's a posturing statement. I want to come in a little bit more, probably a little bit more aggressive on trying to ask for the close than just try to lead to the next touch. You follow me?
Yeah. How many of those did you get? I don't think I've had any of those.
They happen on occasion where somebody will be really excited. Yeah, on the very first touch. Especially when you connect to somebody on saying, okay, Kurt, I totally get what you're saying. That's the reason why I changed. I went from law enforcement to now I started working on my network marketing business. And they're like, man, I'd love to do the same thing. That's something, I want to do. Or, man, I'd love to do that, but.
Right. I get a lot of people like me, yeah, that's probably a really good opportunity, but I don't know.
Okay, so the but parts are good, though, because what they're doing is they're now giving you the below the surface. They're giving you, right now, they're handing it to you. A lot of times it's the tip of the iceberg that we get. We don't get below the tip of the iceberg. They're giving it to you. Well, now that sounds great and all, Trent, but, well, I'll be you. Or you're flipping the scenario around. So I'm now talking to you. You're giving me those statements, and I'm the prospect. My response can be, oh, that sounds great, Kurt, and I that's awesome for you, dude. But I'm just not that kind of guy. I can't be the salesperson. My time is busy. I just don't know that that's something I can see myself doing. I'm not a salesperson. Okay, I am now giving you the ammunition. I'm giving you my reservations. Now, rather than saying, oh, well.
No, I understand. I usually follow up with the Phil Felt Found. I know what you mean. I was there when I was presented this opportunity. I'm an engineer. I sit in a cubicle and I design things on my computer. This is not up my alley. But what I found was this product is legitimate. The system the company has in place has been amazing. They work with me. They help develop me as a person that can do this kind of thing. And from that, I found that it's gotten easier. I've been able to develop these characteristics, these abilities. And I think for me, this has become a source of income and a way for me to retire. What do you think?
I love it. Everything you said is spot on. It's perfect. That's a professional statement right there. Now, The question is, what's your follow-up statement or question to me now that you've said that? I need to you need to progress me on that thought. So what are you going to say?
Aha, I think this is where I struggle. Okay.
Because once you stop that, what you're waiting for is for me to give you feedback. Don't wait for the feedback, control the feedback.
So they'll just go like,
yeah, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get this. Yeah, well, yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Well, then what? Right? So you control that environment.
So now what? What do I do?
Control sounds abrasive and like aggressive, but it's not. It's literally now asking the right question after that. So here's a follow-up question. If I just said what you just said, and now we're flipping the roles back. So now I'm doing the feel, felt, found. You're now the prospect. I'm going to follow up on something like, listen, Kurt, I totally get it. And then I do all the feel, felt, found, and I say, and my follow-up question would be something along the lines, if there was a way, or if it could work for you that you could have the same belief that I do, would it be worth learning how this business works to you? Would it be worth a few minutes? Would it be worth understanding or learning more about how we do it? You don't have to tell me yes right now that you're going to sign up. What I'm asking is it worth it to you that you would like to set up the retirement? We already agreed that the retirement's not there. I'm just telling you I found a way that I think I can feel that. It may or may not be for you. The shoe may not fit, Kurt, but what if it did? What if what I'm telling you is accurate and you could create an income? Would you like to make a residual check every single month? Well, of course you would, right? I mean, I don't know people that wouldn't want that. So I'm just asking, what if you were finding that it wasn't really as hard as you think it is? Would it be worth learning a little bit more about what we do? Have we created enough interest that it's worth the next touch to learn? Because we have a system that we teach. We've got a validation Zoom coming up on Wednesday where there's going to be a group of people just like you, Kurt, that had the same reservations, just like me, that had the same reservations, but they're making money. And I'm now growing my business, and I haven't made a ton of money yet, but I can see that they're making money, and their story's just like my story, and their story's just like your story. So what if we could actually change that scenario for you? Would it be worth a follow-up touch? Would it be worth coming and plugging into learning a little bit more? Have we created enough interest on that, Kurt?
Yes, of course. That sounds good.
And you still might get no's with that. I got one just the other day. I asked that very question, and it was the weirdest thing. And she was like, "No, not really."
No, it's not weird. It's actually perfect. It's what you want, Stacy. Don't make no mistake of that. If I tell you, let's say to Kurt, listen, I am so, and I'm looking right now at you, Kurt. Kurt, I am so frustrated with my future of retirement because my future of retirement changed. The Highway Patrol changed my retirement. So the fact that they changed the retirement frustrates me enough that I said, oh, wait, today's the day I'm going to own it. Do you want to own it? I mean, do you feel the same way I feel? That I'm going to find a way to fill that void. If I ask that, say, has this caught enough of your attention that you're like, today's the day I want to find out if the shoe's going to fit? And your response to me is, give me Stacy's response. Go ahead, just say you're not interested, however you would say it.
It sounds great and all, but no, I'm still not interested. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay, no worries. I totally respect that, Kurt. I appreciate you taking the time to look at the information. You mentioned that you really did like the product. You want me to send you over the link that you can get that product on your own? I can just fire that right over to your phone, and you can help support my cause and take the product and benefit your own health.
Yes, I'd like that.
Perfect. I'm going to send that link over to you. And then one last thing, Kurt. I am serious about doing this. I'm really postured. You and I are friends. We've been friends for quite a while. Would you be okay if I just stayed in contact with you as new things evolve with the company so I can at least keep you up to speed on my success and the things that are happening in my business? Would you be opposed if I did a follow-up with you in, say, a couple of months, 6 months?
No, go ahead.
Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate that. I'll send that over to you, and then I'll do a follow-up with you too as you get on the product, just so that you can share me your experiences on how the product's working for you. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Perfect. Now I'm out. I'm done. Game's over. Okay, he's completely did a hard close or a hard no to me. He's rejected that message. I'm not going to push him. I'm not going to pry on him. I think we spend too much time with one person. That's part of our problem. We spend less time on. We need to spend less time on more people, right? So now Kurt knows how excited I am, how passionate I am, and I'm not there to try to change him and convince him. And he said one of his concerns was he doesn't want to be a salesperson. If I take his objection and come in and try to hammer him again with a different angle, or try to bring in somebody to talk to him or somebody to convince him otherwise, what did I just reinforce in his mind?
Yeah, these guys are
No.
annoying.
It's all about sales.
Yeah.
I just reinforced to you why this business doesn't work for you. I'm not going to come in and try to do that. I'm going to honor his firm no. But I did keep the door open, didn't I? And by the way, if they don't want to join me in business, I'll settle for a customer. I'm totally fine with that. I'm not going to if he wants to take the product, he might have a product experience and he'll come back to the table. And I gave him permission to leave the door open. I gave him permission because I told him that, is it okay if I follow up with you and let you know how my business is growing in the next 3 to 6 months? And he said, yes. He already opened that door. So that's already open. So how did that feel for you, Kurt?
I thought it felt great. I need to practice more. It looks like I felt very comfortable with all the I don't know, the statements you made, the questions. That's where I think where I'm struggling. And I do the Phil Felt Found. I think I just kind of stop after that, and then it gets silent. I like the follow-up question. Have we generated enough interest here? I like that one a lot. That you would be willing to. How'd you say that? Willing to look at.
How to look at it a little bit closer. Yeah, just look at night. Just look into it a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Or this is one.
Well, that's how you say it too. It's, you're very postured and you're very excited. So that's a lot of it.
Okay. Last point then on that whole thing when we talk about the close. One last point. When we talk about the close, this is where a third-party validation can be very valuable for you.
Okay.
Because now if you're talking to somebody about a retirement and you're having this dialogue back and forth, and then the Phil Felt fan comes into play because they don't want to be a salesperson. So you know what? I totally understand that. That's the reason why, I go in why I felt the way I felt. And also too, I've got team members that have had this exact same feelings and the exact same type of an experience. I don't know if one of them would be available, but just watch how this conversation occurs. It'll be a quick one, but Kurt, watch this. I'm going to try one of my buddies, one of my business partners, and just have him share with you exactly how he felt too. Now, I didn't ask for permission to do a three-way phone call. I just told you what I was going to do, right? So utilize and at that moment, integrate a third-party call or a third-party Zoom and bring us on, because when we come on, we're not there to tell the story. We're not there to try to close them. All we're going to do is connect our story to their story. And how powerful would it be if I could jump on a Zoom while I'm out golfing, as our example is, and I'm out enjoying the freedom and not going out working a job. I could be out writing speeding tickets, but instead I'm golfing. And now I have the ability to jump on a Zoom and in 2 minutes say, you know what, I appreciate you, Sean Woodfield, for saying you would like to have a retirement, but you're concerned that maybe this is not the right fit. And here's Kurt, who's saying it was a fit for him and he does want the retirement. And now you're bringing me onto the call. I'm just here to tell you guys that Kurt's on the right track and that this opportunity does work. I've been in it for now 5 years. I've seen people change their life that have set themselves up for retirement. They live on residual income and the opportunity is real. And so, Sean, that's a very legitimate concern. Here's what we have found. We have found that if you're open and you're willing to take a closer look, so that was the phrase, by the way, closer look.
Closer look.
And you're willing to take a closer look, you might find that the shoe does fit pretty good. And that the opportunity does make sense. It does set you up for retirement. It happened for me. It's happened for a whole bunch of other team members. It's now starting to happen for Kurt. So Sean, if there's interest, I want to give you the invitation to join us on Wednesday night at 7:00 at Stacy's house, because we're going to be doing it. We're going to get our team together. We're going to do a business briefing where we go over some of the same things that we've already talked about. And then we're going to validate. We're going to show you exactly how we've done what we've done. And we're not going to force you to say yes. What we are going to do is ask you to take a closer look and just see if this is right for you. And if it feels right, at some point, we're going to ask you to join us in business. So, Sean, thanks for jumping on here. And Kurt, thanks for giving me a chance to say hello to somebody and to meet you. Sean, you got a great story. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday at 7:00. That Zoom or that validation call or Zoom was like 2 minutes long. I didn't have to close Sean. I just had to give him that invitation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So we need so as we go into a meeting, we need to have a follow-up time of some event. It might not be already scheduled, but we can just set something up, right?
I don't care if you make it up. Yeah, because you're ahead of the curve. Hey, listen, we're going to be doing a team validation Zoom on, so today's Saturday. You know, we got a validation Zoom that we're going to be doing Monday night at 7:00. Meet the team. Say hello to the team. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to do behind the scenes work, because as soon as you get out of that meeting, you're going to say, listen, Trent, I've got a dude named Sean Woodfield. He owns his own personal training company. He's open to meeting you. He wants to see how this business really works. Would you be available Monday at 7:00? Okay, awesome, great. Thanks for your time. Hey, Clint, are you available at 7:00? We're going to do a validation Zoom. Hey, Stacy, you available? And all you're doing is you're bringing 3 or 4 team members to the team Zoom that you spearheaded and put together that validates that this actual opportunity works.
Okay.
So now you're utilizing the tools to benefit you because you set it up. We want to touch them every 24 to 48 hours, and you're setting up that touch. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
And so when we say we're available to help you, a lot of times we wait to find out what that availability is, or we wait to find out when we're going to do the meeting. You dictate the speed of your business. You dictate the need of that meeting. And so when that meeting, if that meeting needs to happen Saturday night, well, I may not be available tonight, but that doesn't mean that Clint won't be, or Tony may not be, or Sean's not, or Stacy's not. It doesn't matter. You just need to have a couple of team members that can join you on a Zoom, and then everybody needs to know their role. The role of a validating team member is to validate the story and to confirm that the opportunity is real and that you believe in it. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to go into detail. It doesn't have to go into breaking down comp plan. It doesn't need to go into explaining oxidative stress and superoxide dismutase. It's all about why you believe the opportunity is real.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. I will utilize that more. I haven't set up a Zoom call yet, so that's something I need to work on.
Okay, so to recap real quick, when we do the close, always think about the close at the intro, and that comes with your story to story. Then when you get down to that point of the close, ask them, have we created enough curiosity you'd like to take a closer look? And based upon what you've heard, what attracts you the most? Is it product conversation? Is it business conversation? Let them tell you. If they say, you know what, I'd like to try the product out, and you know, if it all makes sense, yeah, I wouldn't mind looking at the business. You're going to follow up with what about the business you're looking for so that you know exactly what that next touch needs to be. And then based upon the posturing statement, you're going to decide on whether or not you're going to lead a series of questions to the close at that moment, or if you're going to lead to a series of questions to the next touch to progress them through that journey. Because there will be some people that will be ready to sign up right on the spot. So this is a recapping statement, right? So do that. And then the last one is, if you're going to utilize third-party validation, you use the team the way that you need the team to be used. We're here to help serve you, not you serve us. And so if we can help you on a third-party validation Zoom on a Monday night or a Tuesday night that we don't have something scheduled, then let's schedule it. We want to help pour gas on your business. You take the driver's seat. You take control. Remember, you're always in control of your business. So think about ways that you can be in control without manipulating and controlling other people. You're just controlling your business as you move forward. So that's the recap. That make sense?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's continue to work on that. Start thinking about inquisitive questions and things that you can do. If you need to go back and watch this recording, watch it a couple of times and just hear the questions that are being posed, and then take those questions and put them into Kurt's verbiage.
Right.
That works for you. And then start working on some of those as you're doing your 15 presentations. These are the details of the behaviors that we teach. This is behind the scenes detail of the 15 presentations.
That
Okay.
was very helpful.
I
Thank
like
you.
the details.
Now we've been needing this, so thank you.
Hey, Trent. This is Jem.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we've properly met before.
Well, we're meeting now, so it's nice to meet you.
You too. I think you met my wife. She was at. I had her go to Florida.
Awesome.
Lori.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing for me that I noticed when Sean came visited us. I mean, I was sold on wanting to wanting to be in the business, but I was a little hesitant about being the salesman. One thing that helped me that that I thought was really good is that, he said, at first you don't need to do anything other than bring people to us, and we will do the teaching. And I thought that was actually really helpful as well. When, maybe you have someone that has a reservation about being a salesman in this business, you can say, I thought that was one thing for us that was really helpful was, well, you don't necessarily need to be the salesman right now. You can learn it. Part of the process is you can learn how to do this, but just if you can set up the appointments and find people that might be interested, then bring them to us and we will help you teach them. Anyway, I thought I'd interject that because that was helpful for me to really solidify that, yes, I can do this right now.
Absolutely. And we want to empower that with the people that you're introducing us to, because a lot of there's a lot of details here. There's a lot of science. There's a lot of stuff to the compensation plan. And if people feel like they need to know all that first before they go out and talk to somebody, they slow their own business down. And so what we talk about, and you're absolutely spot on, Jim, and I'm glad you brought that up. Sean has done it right. At the very beginning, when you're first getting your business started, you're launching your business, it really should be 100% your advisor. Whoever you're working with as your business partner, let them be 100% engaged in sharing the information. And then as you start to get more proficient and start to learn this, you're going to be taking more of a 50-50 role, where you're going to be tag teaming that presentation with Sean, as an example. And then as you start to assemble your team, and your team is now starting to go out and introducing it to their network, you're going to become the guy. The goal is to get you to where you're the guy, not Sean or me or anybody else. You want to be 100% in the driver's seat, just like we were talking with Kurt on being in control of the business. We want Jim to be in control of the business, because if you're always reactive to what the circumstances are around you, then things will throw you off track. Things will distract you. Just like the lawsuit on the stock that came out, that was just a bunch of noise. It was crap. You've noticed nothing's happened with that. It's because it was some attorney just trying to get, and so that could be a distraction for some people. So we don't get distracted by always staying in control. So Jim, you're spot on. Utilize your team. Let somebody at the very beginning do the presentation, and then as you start to learn and get more comfortable on answering questions, asking the right things, saying the right things, then you'll be 50-50 and then 100% you. That's
right.
Excellent stuff. I love the stuff on the close, because I feel like sometimes we're not posturing to make the close, when in reality they're wanting the close just as much as you're wanting to make the close. But we've got to ask them for the close. And there's a good way of doing it, and there's a bad way of doing it. There's a way of forcing people into making a decision that they're not really ready to make, versus leading people and letting them make the decision on their own. And I think the better we get at asking those questions, the better we'll get at having faster results. So all this is great dialogue, by the way. Excellent stuff. And these are things that I want to train more on as we continue to do these Zooms. These are the details that matter. So excellent questions. All right, if it's okay, with your guys' permission, I'm going to ask for this close. I love all your guys' interest. I love those are great inquisitive questions. And because you guys are so committed, I think you're going to find more of these presentations helpful. So we're going to go ahead and close this presentation down so that we can lead you to the next presentations. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely. Thanks, Trent.
All right, you guys, have an awesome Saturday afternoon.
You're
Great.
awesome.
Thanks, Trent.
Thank you. And where are you going to post this recording?
I love that follow-up question, and really holding my feet to the fire. This will be posted on the team website at road210.com. And I'm also going to post, I have to post it to my YouTube channel so that I can actually post it to the website. So I'm going to first post it to my YouTube channel. If you are not a subscriber of my YouTube channel, subscribe to it. So Stacy maybe mentioned to some of the team to YouTube me or subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's just underneath my name, Trent Lindstrom. So they can subscribe to that, and then that's where the video will first be posted, and then we'll take that and we'll post it to our team website.
Awesome. You're a rock star. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Jim, it's nice to meet you. Look forward to working more with you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.